Welcome once again to another lesson on the Yalak Emet channel on Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. This is the New Testament is Fake series, another copycat lesson titled What You Can Bear. I'm going to read from the verse of deception in the New Testament, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. This was a popular one in the New Testament church when I was a child. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. And that was always used to tell us God won't give you more than you can handle. It just helps the New Testament to show itself as being a new work from God to the church of Israel, but it didn't come from Israelites, and it just borrows stuff from the Torah or the Old Testament, and it's just borrowing concepts, ideas, and declarations that the Most High made, somebody said in the Old Testament, and then it will reword it and put it under the New Testament banner. But I'm going to show you the root of the copycat, where it's grounded in and taken from, or the claw of the copycat, the claw. So here now from Isaiah 28, verse 26 to 28. For his God doth instruct him to discretion, and doth teach him. For the fitches are not threshed with a threshing instrument, neither is a cart wheel turned about upon the cumin, but the fitches are beaten out with a staff, and the cumin with a rod. So it's showing here that basically it's like the New Testament said it, you're not going to get more than you can bear, but it's already expressed from the prophet already, because God was telling him, let the people know I'm not going to give them more than they can bear, more than they can handle. It will be fitting and just and so on. I'm not going to give you more, like when he told Israel to go and take their punishment at different times and they didn't want to. But if they would settle themselves and receive their judgment like in Babylon or whatever, then after 70 years and so on, he would take them. But if they would try to run everywhere, run to Egypt or everywhere else that they thought of, then they're going to have problems. But he's giving them what they can bear and what is fitting for the sin that they did. The fitting kind of punishment is not going to be more than they can handle and more than what they think is normal. So he goes on to say here now, bread corn, now he's saying, bread corn is bruised because he will not ever be threshing it. So it's only going to be bruised. It's not going to be threshed hard and more vicious stuff done to it than is necessary. He's only treating it, breaking it down as much as it needs to prepare the food. So bread corn is bruised because he will not ever be threshing it, nor break it with the wheel of his cart, which would be much, much more vicious kind of handling of the bread corn. He will not break it with his cart, nor bruise it with his horsemen, because that would be even harsher. So the Most High is already showing how he will deal with Israel. So we didn't need Paul from the New Testament to come and tell you that God's not going to give you more than you can handle. He was already saying that from the Old Testament. And to show that, when they were doing their sinning, he didn't always deal with them harsh. He just sent prophets to tell them, return and so on. It's only after they went too far, then he would give some kind of punishment, send them in captivity or stop the rain and so on, and give them hardships. But first he was just talking to them, come on, return. But when they didn't listen, why? Because he's not trying to be too harsh by sending horsemen and so on, or threshing and so on, something that only needed a little bruising. But when they did not accept his lighter correction, then he would go beyond the bruising and he would thresh them and then send horsemen in captivity. New Testament is fake. These things are already in the Old Testament or in the Torah, that God will not give Israel more than. So what do we really need a New Testament for? just so the Roman Empire can sell more books and make more money off of you while deceiving you at the same time. New Testament is fake. Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. You're locked, Emmett Chan.